Hello, everyone. Welcome to October 24 Zeam call. Here we discuss our progress for DevNet 1 and Zeam client updates for everyone. And then we can discuss what is relevant uh, apart outside the updates and outside any particular, urgent concerns that are related to client development. So we can start with Kai.
Uh, this week, uh, for Zeam, I'm still working on the Lean Spike PR. So got a lot of review comments. Yeah, so almost finished. Yeah, it should be finished today. And I spent some time for the Zigbee P2P interop test. I got so I got a issue when I test with the Go client version 42. Yeah, it always works fine with 40 Go client 40 version, but not always works with 42. So sometimes the Go listener send a connection close frame. So I still dig this. Yeah. Okay.
And when do you think we will have something that we can integrate with?
Uh, I hope maybe next month.
So we will also have request response in there, or just the gossip?
No. So we need to implement a request response ourselves.
All right. So, but how we will then be able to integrate it? Because
Yeah. So yeah. It needs some time to implement that. Yeah.
or is it possible that we can gossip on? No, it won't be possible because then we'll have. I don't know. Is it possible that we can then gossip on Zigbee P2P and request response through Rust? I'm not sure it would be possible because you won't be able to bind the port, I guess.
I think we can wait. I can implement the request and the response also. Yeah, it's need some time, but maybe not much time.
Got it. And by the way, good job for your request response PR. So it was quite a lot of work in terms of handling, the sending the request and handling the responses to those requests. So good job for that. And yeah, also just push through the PR 67 that we have for the specs. Just to provide context, this is the PR where we are actually sort of segregating the signatures out from the block body. So it is a step towards segregation, but that won't be happening. And the follow-up PR to this PR would be to actually integrate the signature library in the spec as well as in the clients. Right now, the signature itself is just 0 bytes. But this is a step towards that, and that is where we are going. And then the next step would be aggregation, where things would where basically you won't have a list of signatures. Right now the segregation is into a list of signatures, and then with the Leam VM integration you would just have one signature, and then things would So we are starting to get see how we are starting to get to see how things are going to be different and a little bit more complex to understand with respect to how we traditionally think while dealing with the signatures in a block and the block signature itself. Because, for example, because of the OTS now, we will have just one signal signature for block and uh, block and the proposer vote, right? Because earlier you propose a block as a proposer, and in the next interval you vote for it. Now you have to do that in the same message in the proposer itself, and then uh, signature is same. So the complications that the complications that will come up for the child proposer, right? So whoever is proposing next and wants to include the proposer vote into their block, so there are some complications for that, and those are coming up with this particular PR, and it's good that all these challenges are getting exposed so that we can preactively deal with them. And that is something that has also been brought up to EF signature research team, and so that basically they can make sure that such scenarios can be handled by lean VM. Because when you are trying to pack the proposer vote as a aggregated signature in the next block, then basically, it is not just the signature uh, over attestation data, it's signature over the entire block and vote for the proposer. So I think also this PR cleans up a lot of the other things that were missing in the spec, because I think the last spec was bulk generated using AI, and there were a lot of missing things. And so again, Kai, good job in pushing that through. All right, we can now go to Partha.
Thanks, Gajendra. So I now have a fully functional Zig version of the hashtag crate, in the sense that it is deterministic within the Zig implementation. If I use the same seed, it always generates the same set of keys. And every other functionality has been tested. I have the same set of tests with comparison to Rust. The key generation is 1.5 times faster than Rust. But the only challenge I'm having right now is if I use the seed phrase that I use in Rust, I don't get the same key in Zig. So there's some interdependency issue which I'm not able to narrow or rather figure out what exactly is the problem. I've narrowed it down to a couple of packages, maybe the way the inherent difference in probably Rust STD range RNG and how Zig deals with it could be one of the reasons. But I've been losing my hair for the past 2 days figuring out what is the issue actually. I'll probably do a bit more in the same thing. If I'm not able to figure out, I would like to raise this point. Is it really necessary, given that both Toma and Benedict have said that generating keys deterministically is not good? If the Zig library can work in its isolation and is able to validate signatures from the Rust implementation, can we use it as it is my question. So I haven't done that part of the test yet, which I would do so, but I would like to give one more try at achieving complete portability between Rust and Zig. If I manage to do that, then we are confident it will work as it is. But otherwise, yeah. But I'd appreciate any help. I have a an issue raised on the Hasig repo. If I have another pair of eyes looking at to see something that have gone wrong, yeah, it would help. Yes, Cam.
Yeah, I saw you tagged me the other. Sorry, I'm a bit I have a pretty big workload at the moment. The thing is, I don't. I mean, I don't know if there's a standard for generating random numbers from a seed, but the way I see, or the way I understand, It's just that they just generate random numbers kind of differently from maybe they use the same seed, but they just use a different algorithm, which is fine as long as both algorithms are safe. What we want is to make sure that whatever the Rust code generates can be verified. Like if you sign something with Rust, you can verify it with Z, and vice versa. And as long as this works, I would say it doesn't really matter that we don't get the same. I mean, if I were you, I would not bother trying to understand, which one is the best. I mean, okay, it still needs to be investigated in the sense that maybe you're using an insecure version, like to generate numbers. But I've seen that the Zig library has some. I mean, the Z library. Everything crypto related has been generated by this guy who created Lipsodium, so it's really top of the art. So I would not worry about something insecure being in there, but nonetheless, it might be insecure for our specific usage. But there's some actual random generator that. Like you got the testing the random.seed, which might actually be the same as Rust or not, who knows? But there's also an actual what's that called? There's also an actual proper purely random generator, like that goes directly to the Linux kernel's generator, like random number generator. So if you do have compatibility, and if we know that this algorithm you use is used in the right context, I say it doesn't matter if we agree, like if from the same seed we don't get the same number with Rust.
Okay. So as I said, I'll
Yeah,
probably
just-
give it another try. Yeah, sorry, Gajendra.
Yeah, just to add to this conversation, when Papa you started, you said it's not important to have deterministic. It is important to have deterministic in the sense that you would want to regenerate the same thing again and again.
Yeah.
What I think you meant was that we are not on the same parity with the Rust library, right? So
Rust
in
implementation.
terms, yeah. So just to correct this slight language over there, because someone who is reading the notes might think that it's not deterministic in the sense that each time you generate key pair with the same library using the same seed, you won't get the same key pair.
Yeah.
So it's deterministic in that sense, but it is not on the same parity with the Rust. And as of now, I think, as you guys have said, that it's not really a concern as long as the library is correct, which means that we can consume the signature from the Rust, and Rust can consume signature from us. So we can verify each other's signatures, and that we can take care using test cases. But I think in the long run, it would still be beneficial for us to see, what to have a standard RNG, because there have been RNG attacks based upon weak random number generators. And the second thing would be, it then basically, for example, if this goes into production, and that is not a worry as of now, but if this goes into production and somebody generates it with Zeam library, then basically onus is onto us to maintain that Zeam library for the lifetime. So I mean, I would not want to take that much on us as of now, but so in that sense, I would basically want that, okay, one tool is sort of compatible with the other tool as well. So that is there, but I think that they are not the concerns for now, because we are just in the research stage trying to make this work, and at some point we will see whether whether the tools we want standardization for the tools or not. But obviously, I think RNG should be standardized and should be part of the spec, so that basically there aren't any choices left for us as a client developers to think and figure out that whether it's secure or not.
Sounds good.
So apart from that, yeah, we are good for now. And so what is the exact thing that made our signature generation faster than the Rust? Because last time I remember you said the opposite was true.
Yeah. So I matched the parameters and the method or the algorithm associated with tree generation to the latest Rust implementation. And when it's like for like everywhere, Rust seems to be a lot quicker, at least on my machine. So I don't know. We'd have to run a wider benchmark across other lifetimes as well as other machines, but in general, it turned out to be quicker.
Zig is quicker, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay. Another thing, do we have the latest API that Rust guys
Yeah.
introduced for the tree caching?
It is. It does. The only difference was I had to self-contain the Zig Poseidon implementation to the hash Zig right now because I was continuously iterating. I'll move out my current version of the Poseidon back to the Zig Poseidon repo once I'm satisfied with the testing, and then we can start to use it as a dependency.
All right. Also, can you give us a short brief on what is difference between Colabase 16 and 24? Because the width size is different. How does that impact in terms of what we are choosing? Because Thomas said that it really isn't different. So I don't understand.
I mean, again, my understanding is purely from a porting perspective, right? The hash generated when I using the regular one was completely different from what I used from Koala Bear 24, and that's the reason why I did a like for like port. What is the underlying mathematical reason is not something I'm really aware of. So I think that's more a question for Toma and Benedict.
I'm assuming that Colabase 24 is a bigger field than Colabase 16,
It is, yeah.
and I haven't really looked into it. So it must be more secured by in terms of when the field is larger, you have more space and the collisions are going to be less. So that is definitely there. But my question is more with respect to what is the configuration that we want to use in SSZ Poseidon hashing. What is the exact field we are using right now? It is it 24 or 16?
I mean, Hashtag uses both Koala 16 and 24 interchangeably in few locations. So I don't know what should be the ideal one for SSZ. Should we? I mean, that's another question. I was under the impression SSZ uses the regular SHA-256 or KCHAC hash, right? What was the
SHA-256.
reason behind for Poseidon being used there? I thought it was used only for the signatures.
Yes, so we want to move SSZ Shaw hashing. It is SHA-256 for now
Right.
to Poseidon hashing because it would be more prover friendly and faster in proving.
I see.
I think
Okay.
it's tons and tons faster when you are trying to do proving, and we basically as a lean spec, I think there is full intention to move to Poseidon 2 hashing rather than SHA-256.
Right.
Uh, so my question is basically what is the length of the input that SHA-256, sorry, the Poseidon consumes, and what is the output that Poseidon gives? Because in SHA-256 you take basically 32 bytes of chunk, right? So you digest them and you get again 32 bytes output, right? So what is that input and output width over here?
I have to come back to you on that. I don't remember at the top of my head. Let me look at the code and ping you back.
Because from what I remember, they are saying that the Merkle root of SIGHASH, the public key, is 52 bytes, right?
52 bytes,
So
yeah. But
if
that
it's
contains
50,
but that contains multiple parameters. One is the root element, the other is the list of parameters which are encoded into the public key. So the the Poseidon to hash there is a combination of these two. So I'm not sure if you would get a deterministic size of the hash with Poseidon 2. It depends on what you're actually hashing.
I mean, but what do you mean deterministic size? Because there has to be a max size that
So
we will basically pad to, right?
that's true. But when you're hashing, you only hash the root, right? The public key here in the hash sig represents essentially contains two component, which is the root hash, which is a hash of the entire Merkle tree plus certain things, and the other they also what do you say, include the parameters which was used for the key generation and encode it into the public key. and this entire JSON struct is what I believe is serialized to 52 bytes, if I'm not mistaken.
Got it. So what? So can you figure out what is the exact root size that is there?
Size, yeah, I'll come back to you on that. I need to. I haven't actually measured it, but I'll come back to you on that.
Because we don't need to embed other parameters when we are doing SSD hashing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is there. All right. Thanks, Partha. Let's move to Chaitanya.
Hello everyone. So this week I'll continue from where Partha left it. I did a basic implementation integration for Poseidon and a couple of things that I could add on top from what I know. Again, take it with a grain of salt. I did mostly it in terms of integration. So rather than having a SHA-like byte constraint, Poseidon is more constrained on the field size. So the integration that I did is primarily for field size of 16 that embeds well with the SHA-like APIs that we created, and as our existing SSC expects chunks of 32 bytes, so that corresponds well to that as well. So there is that, and that is out right now as well. Again, I put out the PR in draft mode if anybody wants to have a look, and I was testing it. And there are some changes that Partha has made for the Rust compatibility, which also changes a lot of things on our end. But uh, I think those are mostly for the tree size, the Rust compatibility changes that they do not correlate to our SSC, since we use our own Merkleization over there for tree generation. So, but there needs to be some more changes to point to the latest changes that Partha made in Zig Poseidon. I'm testing it on my own. I just for the SSD side, since there are no other libraries that have Poseidon hasher over there. So that is something that is going on, and I'll get that out soon as well. Other thing that I picked up on was the lean quick start. I was just trying things out on my end to see how it goes, and I found I was just working on the Mac OS and more compatibility fixes over there. Found a few small issues, mostly unrelated to our stuff, but the one that was uh, bugging me for Zeam was the one that I shared in the chat as well. The image that we have on the Docker Hub is probably broken, and it's again it just crashes right after starting, so I couldn't get it to work. I built my own local image, which is not AMD 64, so but that one worked, and I put out a draft PR for that as well. I'm just waiting for adding the metrics thing to the quick start as well, just waiting on the lean metrics things to be done by Katya. If not, we'll have our own interface as well. I've done some minor work over there. Apart from it, I had another question. When do we plan to move to ZigBee 0.15.1? Is it post DevNet 1? And what is the timeline? Because there are some issues on SSD side that VM has raised. And I have done some minor porting, but the one that the issues that Kia mentioned, moving back to a stack-based array and using pointers, those changes are left. So if I could get a clarity on that, I could decide on what to take up on priority.
I mean, it's just my opinion. Of course, you can decide to disagree, like you being everybody in that room can disagree. But my guess would be to wait for 1.15.2 before we attempt to move to the 15 line, simply because it was such a big change that people, libraries, everybody's still struggling. And I think 1.14.1 works pretty well. So if you run into a major problem, that's a different question. But as long as we don't have any showstopper, we should totally stick to what we have. Because like if we move to 1.15.2, there will be 1.15.3. and so on. So we should really wait for more stability. And I think 150.1, at least, okay, I didn't check recently, but 3 weeks ago, it was still a lot of drama, a lot of people struggling to keep the compatibility. So I think the best way, we're not obliged to stay with the latest, because even if there's a security flaw at the moment, we're still doing very much prototyping work. So it doesn't matter if there's some kind of vulnerability anywhere in the libs. So in my view, there's no rush to upgrade unless you do find a critical flaw that forces us to do this. But I think for DevNet 1, we should still stick to the same version of the compiler.
All right, all right. Yes, that makes sense. Oh, but just because of the issues, I was under the impression this is something that we want to get done soon. Maybe I
Uh,
misread it.
Okay, like you mean the issue inside like which issue? The issue inside our issue?
The SSG, the issues that you created for the upgrade from bounded
Sorry,
base,
that one. Yeah, no, that's
because
just
those APIs change as well.
as just a reminder. But honestly, I would stick to, yeah, no rush. Like there's more important stuff.
Got it, got it. Thank you.
Yeah, for the other things, so one of the things that you mentioned was that you have used field 16, and we create chunks of 32 in our SSD library. So what are you doing? We are padding them with the zeros?
Yes, so there is zero padding for smaller inputs. For larger inputs, right now it's ideally not even going to work because it's just going to cut the inputs off. Otherwise, we do zero padding. This also introduces some level of collision that I've mentioned in the PR itself, but given that we all, for our SSC purposes, it should not affect us because we are always giving the chunks of same 32 bytes. So, but again, it's not a general purpose solution that other should take inspiration from, especially when working on signature stuff. It's just a SSG wrapper, just specifically for that.
Just so to be clear, basically field 16 and field 24, I think these already represent the size. So they sort of resolve my confusion of what is the output size of the hash that's going to be, because it has to be represented in these field bytes, right?
It's 32 bytes, Gajendra.
Okay, I mean, maybe they are padding it internally, because if the field is 24 bytes
Yep.
size, then it should fit ideally in 24 bytes. But yeah, I mean, I'll basically check into details of that because I'm not a cryptographer in that sense. But okay, so we have 32, but in Koala Base 16, what is the output? It is still 32 bytes?
So right now, I'm using the compress function that is provided in Zig Poseidon, which gives a configurable output. Internally, again, not sure how it does the handling for it, but it does give out 32.
Okay, so right now for the purpose of SSD integration, you're still able to get 32 bytes output.
Yes, yes. All the integration has been done just to make sure it works with the existing APIs that we have.
All right, cool. So I will look into the PR, and obviously GM will also give a look. All right, so thanks, Chaitanya, and let's move to Nupur. Yeah, Chaitanya.
Yeah, again, it's more of a work in progress right now, so feel free to suggest things over there. It's again, I did a lot of things just to my understanding on how I could get it. So again, not I don't think this is the final version that will merge, but yes.
Yep, sounds good.
Hi. So I have created a PR for writing finalized and unfinalized slot to block root index to the database, and like before that's the PR I created. And before like moving on to a new task, I was just doing I was picking up some minor housekeeping tasks, and yeah, that's it.
Thanks, Nupur. Mercy.
Good afternoon. So, during this week, I did a lot of minor tasks. One has to do with updating the number of validators in config.yml, while on the lean spec on the quick start repo, and then I did also I added a validation check for fork choice attestation process on the specs repo. But currently, I'm looking at the test vectors and how we're going to implement it on our own side. I'm still trying to properly understand the PR that Felipe, I don't know if I got his name correctly, put out, and also how we're going to implement it. But I have, what's it called? I did notice when I tried running a test, something failed. I'm not sure why, but if I confirm it, I will raise up the questions and then get clarification on that.
So if you fail the test, there is a PR that I created that you can take over if you want to consume those tests. It hasn't been tested because the tests were not failing at the time. But you can take that over and try to find whatever has been failed, which should be normally in a directory called fixtures. And if you can consume this inside my program, which will probably require a lot of changes, that should be able to. Yeah, okay. It's probably not gonna work right off the bat, but it should get you started.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, just to add to that, I think there is this PR 76, which I just shared in the Zeam community channel, which I guess we are talking about. And I will be reviewing this spec test PR, and basically we'll discuss it on Monday with other teams of how we are liking it, whether the format is all good, and we are good with the way it proposes to consume the spec test. So everyone else is also welcome to look at it, because I think spec test is going to be next week's priority if basically we are good with what has been proposed. All right, we can now move to Anshul.
Yeah, so initially, like there were some minor comments that Guillaume had put into Hacksig PR that I had raised, and mostly like I have addressed those comments apart from like removing the feature flag, because if I do that, for that I'll need to like remove the other tests that I have added to. So I had put it up on the in one of the comments in the PR itself that do we want should I like just remove all the other tests and remove the feature flag as well, or like should I wait for Game to like merge his uh splitting up of Rust code? That's one thing. Apart from that, I was working on fixing the XCV scheduler. So there right now, like there was some issue with scheduling of events happening cross chain. So I fixed that up. Kai has already reviewed it. He has put up a couple of comments there. I have like already addressed one of them locally. There's another one which I'll do after this call, and I should be able to push it by tonight. Apart from that, there's another minor PR, mostly on the housekeeping front. So after like this request response PR got merged, there were like a bunch of things around parent block syncing. I have commented. I've tagged you Gajinder on I think 2 3 PRs where which I think has already been addressed and we can close them. And I have raised a PR for one of these issues. Um, yeah, that's it from my end.
All right,
Uh,
I'll take a look into it.
Yeah, regarding the other PR you were talking about, I saw your comment. If you can give me, I'm currently, I guess that's my update at the same time. If you can give me a couple more hours to merge the PR to, yeah, to split all the libs, and then we can rework it. And if it makes your life simpler, I think we should go this way. If I can't manage to get it through because it's been very complicated, surprisingly complicated, I will just merge it, and we'll I'll start over and try to break it this way. But I think it's worth simplifying the build system, which is currently very, very complicated. So if you could give me 2 hours, and then we can better answer that question.
Yeah, sure. I don't think like we need that PR right away, because before doing that we have to make the changes for the PR67 as well, and then we'll be like integrating those signatures, and like PR67 is yet to be confirmed on lean spec, then we'll have to port that on Zeam as well.
Yeah, PR67 is almost confirmed, and I think maybe you can take it because Kai did us back, so it's better that other person in some other person in the team implements it in the Zeam so that the knowledge is spread out. So in that sense, I guess you can pick PR67 to implement on Zeam because we are almost there, and we might actually end up merging it today.
Yeah, sure, I'll do that.
Just a little bit of name changes, I think, mostly. Okay, with my update is that I have been working on PR67 with Kai. Have been looking at other reviewing and merging other PRs, and was digging a bit deeper into Kai's request response PR because was a that was a big change that we merged in, and now using that we need to also implement parent chain syncing. I think this is something. It could be a little bit more challenging because we also have to be optimal in that, and so this task is up to be picked up, and whoever wants to pick it up can claim it. With regard to our progress for DevNet 1, I think now we have this, and then in our lean quick start, there is Mercedes PR that I need to review, to which basically also adds which also generates key pair to be enrolled by the teams into their Genesis state. So once we have PR67 merge, then I'll basically also look at Mercy's lean quick start PR and see if it correctly generates, and then we can merge it. And also basically take a look at what are the timings to generate a small amount of small amount of validators for small lifetimes. And I think with regard to spec, right? So next thing that the onus is on our team to also add signatures in the spec as well. So that task is also up for grabs. Whoever wants to do it. I'm not sure whether #sig is available in Python. I don't think it is available, but is it available with bindings in Python? Because we'll need to integrate it, and it's a working spec. So somebody would need to sort of generate Python bindings for it, I think, because we are not going to implement #sig library in Python itself. So that is something that we need to figure out. Partha, can you take a look at it? Because I think this is sort of closely related
Sure.
with the work that we're doing.
So you need Python bindings for the existing #sig crate, if I understand correctly. Is that correct?
Yeah, because I think we will be using Rust library in the spec itself. So
Sure.
that we need bindings, how to basically, integrate, call that library from the Rust and integrate into lean spec. So
All
I think
right.
if you can do a PR for that in lean spec, that would be awesome.
Okay. I'll take it. Thank you.
Okay. So basically, if this happens, then it will sort of cover up the spec for DevNet 1. And I think we should be able to implement it in a couple of weeks. So that solves our DevNet 1 target. And then we have Poseidon hasher, which I think I will try to push for the next DevNet. So with regard to that, Chaitanya, can you also look what are the Poseidon hasher specs on lean spec repo so that we are on top of that?
Sure. So right now, just looking at those and making sure we are in alignment with that.
Got it. Cool. Anything else that comes to your mind, guys, that we need to focus on? Yep.
I saw there was this new task about an execution client integration, get integration. So would that be split up or what? I'm just generally curious about that. If we could go over that one.
That is actually for the EF internship, what Zeam could offer. So I have created that as a part of that. That is not a part of this project right now.
Yeah. So basically, in PQ DevNets, we are not going for execution integration as of now because the focus is towards post-quantum cryptography and P2P. So yes, that is a parallel project that we might offer for EPF.
Okay, thank you.
Cool. So Jose, right? Would you like to add anything because you are here for the first time? So welcome. And would you like to share anything with us?
Yeah, thank you. No, from my side, I've just been looking to the Lean roadmap, and yeah, I was interested in looking into this project, see how it works, and maybe learn a bit about it.
Got it. Cool. Thank you for being here, and hope to see you here in future as well. Ladislas, over to you. Any news for us?
Yeah, hi guys. Well, news. I mean, worthwhile listening to what Justin mentioned on our Wednesday call. I think he gave an interesting, more holistic, project upgrade. I think I'm personally am still digesting the Cambridge workshops a little bit. Obviously the post quantum and sort of the more lean specific outcomes. Really hope that you guys will be able to take a look at the recordings and the summaries over the next few days. Yeah, the British food. Well, Cambridge food is actually it's quite cosmopolitan, I would say. So it was good. Well, but I guess what I would also hint at is that we had a consensus layer and architecture workshop following the post quantum workshop, and so there obviously we discussed faster finality mechanisms again. So maybe this may also have an impact on the lean roadmap. It's still a bit early to tell, but yeah, exciting progress which researchers have made over the following few days. And yeah, what else? I mean, yeah, the 1-year anniversary coming up. I think it's for this group and for all client teams working on lean. It's yeah, it's pretty fascinating to look at past year, and I guess for us as people trying to steer this forward, it'll be interesting to see what we make out of the anniversary in terms of like what's next. How do I guess what I'm thinking about is how do we integrate more client teams into Lean Consensus, right? As you realize, we have interest from additional teams nowadays, and then also the existing client teams. So yeah, I guess I'm a bit more of a lean diplomat these days than than I guess having a lot of time to dive into the very technical details. But I guess overall very exciting progress on a lot of fronts. It'll be like Lean is here, like after the workshops and after the anniversary. Lean is here to stay, and now it's a bit of a question for us all to be also a bit mindful. How do we gracefully merge these ideas into the broader Ethereum roadmap? And yeah, so and pushing hard on one end and sort of implementing and interoping is one thing, but also like being somewhat mindful about how this fits into Ethereum eventually. And it looks like we're at the point where this is going to be a question and a task for us. Yeah. So bit of a rant, but this is where I think about a lot, what I think about a lot these days, where I talk to a lot of people about these days, and hope to but still hope to continue sort of following the discussions, the more technical discussions which are happening.
Thanks, Ladislas, for sharing. And yes, we are waiting for all the videos to come out and to see all the exciting discussions and talks that happen in Cambridge. I hope there aren't any videos of British food, I guess, from what I'm hearing. But yeah. So with regard to the relevance of the work that we are doing and how it adds value back to Ethereum, I think, yes, that is a very pertinent question. And it is a question that we should be asking ourselves as well as discussing with others. And in that sense, I think we focused on PQ because that was definitely one clear thing that we can contribute back to Ethereum mainnet, so that we are de-risking the entire post-quantum strategy and basically figuring out all the challenges and questions that need to be asked much before we come to a point where quantum becomes a threat, given we had some recent news about Google's Willow project doing some interesting stuff. So I think the quantum threat could be real, could not be real. I'm not sure, because it is very hard to predict what are the progress that quantum computers are gonna make over coming years. But definitely, I think our work de-risk that strategy and make sure that Ethereum as a whole is ready for it. And going forward from the post quantum, definitely now the question comes that what are the other areas that we should be exploring to contribute back to Ethereum, and one of them is definitely consensus. Right now we are using 3SF Mini, but we need to focus on more current finalization approaches, and I think that is what we should work on and figure out post we have completed our quantum work. Rainbow staking also, I think, is very important, because if proving is going to become an integral part of Ethereum ecosystem, then we will have to shift to a place where there are different roles for different nodes, because or not all nodes will be equal, and this is where rainbow staking will come in. And as Lean Consensus, I think the onus is on to us to figure out how it could look like, and again to present these options to Ethereum ecosystem to say that, okay, this is how it could look like, and these are the parameters, these are the trade-offs. So help them choose with the metrics that Ethereum ecosystem could be comfortable in. But yes, all these are all important questions that we need to ask ourselves, and we basically need to have an active engagement with those doing mainline Ethereum development, because we can't develop in silo, and we have to basically make sure that whatever work we are doing is directly usable by the Ethereum mainnet community.
Yeah, 100% agree. And I think this this sort of crystallizes in this sense also in decisions we are making, very technical decisions, or for example, if you think of the test vector pull request, right? It's like we are, as much as it's great and to start from a clean sheet and sort of learn from mistakes we did, we obviously deviate from mainline Ethereum and mainline consensus processes, and as much as we should embrace like making progress and sort of doing it quote unquote better, we still I don't know, we at least need to be mindful, or like have fallback mechanisms, or at least ideas and thought about how would it be possible to like if there's not a big lean fork quote unquote, like how to incrementally ship these features. And I guess it's also like, I don't have a technical answer for this. I can just raise the question, I guess, like can we think of ways to which I referred to earlier as this graceful migration, if you will. How can we still be able to migrate to incrementally ship lean progress into existing consensus layer developments? So yeah, it's more of a question, meta question. It's less of an answer, but I think Katrina, you summarized it well. It's important to not deviate too much in the sense that we just are the second sort of work stream which loses attachment to Ethereum itself. So yeah, be mindful about it, and think about like ways to stay compatible, I guess, with existing Ethereum CL.
Yep, and we are also having some influx of Ethereum CL devs starting to look into lean spec. So there is also some cross-pollination happening, and some feedback coming from there as well. So we should basically accelerate and encourage more of this, so that the ideas that we are working on over here are not totally foreign to them, and basically, they can take back the learnings from what we are doing over here. All right, so this brings us to the end of today's call, and we are almost time. Yeah, Mercy.
Sorry, I wanted to ask, is there like any other pending tax in respect to DevNet 1 that is needs some attention to?
Yeah, so I think the pending task would be then next to integrate the signature library into Zeam, because that is, once we have PR 67 implemented in Zeam, then the next follow PR is to actually integrate the signature. So that would be there, and I'll take a look at other pending things and see how to push forward, how to make our client more robust and better. So I'll take a look and come back on this. All right. Thank you guys for today's call. See you next time on October 31. Same time, 11 a.m. UTC.
Thank you.
See you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Thanks, Katrina.
Thank you.
Take care, guys.
Thank you. Bye.